What is up, everybody? Today we're celebrating Halloween, and we also are talking about Sex and the City recasting and a lot more. All that on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Now that I know they be jiffing us, I gotta be careful.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live this week. I'm your host, Derrial Christon. Joining me today are Courtney Stewart.
Courtney Stewart, hello.
DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
And we are here today. It's the weekend or the week before Halloween.
We feel like, well, it's the weekend for like everybody that's, you know, celebrating the Halloween.
Right, we had this whole debate about celebrating Halloween and the meaning behind it, because I'm a big Halloween person. I can't wait to, you know, celebrate it this weekend, but you feel differently about this, Courtney. Are you not going to any Halloween parties?
Well, that was more of Jesse's, like,
Jesse
combating.
Because you said you've never seen Hocus Pocus.
I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
Crazy.
I don't understand how that's
like, that's
possible.
Literally the movie of Halloween.
And why is that? I never like corny Halloween
What's
movies.
corny about it?
I don't know. It just seems like it's campy.
No.
Maybe I'm judging it.
You need to watch Hocus Pocus.
How you gonna call it corny and you ain't even seen it?
Right.
I'm just saying it looks corny, but maybe okay, fine. I like the Thrasher movies. I like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger.
I feel you, but
know,
I mean, like, some of those are corny. Actually.
Jeepers Creepers.
Most of those are corny.
I mean, they get corny after
and
like the
cheesy as
6
hell.
ones. Yeah.
Like, oh.
Wait, Anthony, what you saying?
I gotta say that Hocus Pocus is a Disney Channel original movie, but it is very tasteful, and it's not really corny at all, because that's not where they're going with the direction of the film.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what?
All right,
go ahead with your history.
It's Bette Midler, damn it. Ain't nothing she did corny.
Go ahead, Anthony, from the booth with your history of Hocus Pocus.
I'm glad you knew. I totally didn't know that was a Disney original.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I used to try and VHS it every single time, but I didn't have the Disney Channel, so then when the movie would come on, you can only watch the first 10 minutes, and then they change it.
I just assumed it was like,
though, the other day, our Phil Vitek, who's our AfterBuzz CEO, he had the movie, and I made him turn it off because I wanted to put in Friday the 13th. I thought that Hocus Pocus was going to be corny. So, what do I know? I guess I'll just check it out.
He'd rather see bitches get murdered.
Well. But if you guys do want to party this weekend and you're in the LA area, this Saturday, downtown Los Angeles, I will be spending. It's $20 to get in, and it's open bar.
Where?
All night.
All night.
Where?
All night.
Just look at my Instagram. I'm going to post it on there. It's called The Mansion Party, though. Okay. And you know it's going to be lit. $20 and drinks all night. Okay.
And I'll be there hanging out. Say
yeah,
hey.
Derrial will too. Cost them it all.
I'm going to Game of Thrones. One of the characters.
Which character?
You look at my Instagram to find out on Saturday morning.
Oh, all right. Oh, it's starting early.
Starting early.
All right.
It's a whole process.
Wait, are you going Saturday morning in costume somewhere, or you're just going to have it by then?
That's the process. That's when part of it arrives.
Oh.
So, or most of it arrives.
Wait, so you're going to reveal it before your actual party in it?
Or give like a little piece.
I'm giving you little pieces.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like clue.
okay.
Who's it going to be?
Are you wearing underwear?
Oh.
Sure.
Okay, just asking.
Throw a jock
I
strap
mean, because they
on,
used to
fuck
wear.
it.
Like, I mean, I don't really know, because I honestly have only seen one episode of Game of Thrones. So like, I just assumed they were.
See,
like,
I do the same thing every year. I go as Purge. I just put a mask on. All right, Hocus Pocus. Why we had to bring it up is because Sarah Jessica Parker was originally in Hocus Pocus.
Yes, she was.
Well, speaking of her, Kim Cattrall was in an interview, and when they kind of brought up, you know, a little tiff between her and Miss Sarah Jessica Parker from the set of Sex and the City.
Because they won't do the third movie because everybody's blaming Kim Cattrall.
Well, she said, you know, I played that character, I rode it till the wheels fell off, and honey, the wheels have fallen off, and I'm not riding it no more. But she made a comment where she feels that they should recast her character and make it a woman of color, whether Hispanic or black. The audience stood up. They thought that was a great idea. I kind of laughed at it a little bit, like, girl, you gonna make the whole one be a
See, that's what I thought about initially when I saw it. And I know she didn't mean it that way, But I said,
But Courtney had a good rebuttal.
out of all the characters that you
definitely have a
pick to
rebut.
be a woman of color, it's got to be the one who is sexually,
Why
But
can't,
it is-
why can't
it is
Carrie be?
Arguably, Samantha's character is arguably the most free and honest character on the show in terms
True.
of her sexuality,
It's very
and
true.
owns her sexuality more than any of the other women.
Agreed.
So it is
agree
a
with
power position, and a powerful woman of color would be amazing. But at the same time, we have all kinds of other information and connotation that goes along with a black woman or a woman of color being that sexual. So I get why initially that reaction is, but at the same time, if you really look at the character of Samantha, her base is in power, not in powerlessness and using her sex to get anywhere. She controls her sex fully, so it might be kind of dope.
She controls her sex fully.
I mean, I can get with that. It's just not. First of all, this was just hypothetically speaking. They're
Yeah.
not
Yes.
really
No.
doing.
They're definitely not going to do that.
No.
And I don't think, even though it seemed like decent reaction from it, I don't think really audiences, and I mean, I love a brown girl in anything, but I don't want to see that.
No.
It's not
Especially you're just
Samantha.
going to use the same cast. If you were to
Yeah,
ever
if
use the
you
same
were-
cast and then be
yeah.
like, hey, Samantha.
No.
Right.
No.
Samantha, what did you do?
If they was trying to do like a revamp.
She's like, what's that girl's name?
Like, girl,
in
you
the
been tanning a
No, the
lot
girl
out
in
there in
the
California.
girl in the
but no.
UK. Rachel Dozio.
Right. No, the best would be if they did do another movie and they just never
Just never
acknowledged
mentioned it.
That, and
It's
she
just
just
a black
comes in and she's a
girl.
black girl.
It's an odd bib.
That would be the best. I actually would appreciate
It
that
would-
more.
But then that would be what the movie's about, the comedy that
True.
is a mess,
True.
because otherwise it wouldn't be. But
And
whatever.
then the whole franchise would just get flushed.
They just need to
right
put it
on
to
down.
bed.
I agree. If
I
they're not
wanted a
coming
third
back.
movie, but just put it to bed.
Well, speaking of beds and personal things, honey, I have loved me some Amazon Prime. As a matter of fact, they came and took my box spring that I thought was for a California king bed, but apparently I have an Eastern king bed.
What's an Eastern King?
Yeah, what's the
Eastern king
difference?
size?
I didn't even know that.
I didn't.
existed.
Thank you.
What's
I didn't know that either. So I was ordering on Amazon Prime. I was getting a California king size box spring because the bed's fucking huge. So the box spring comes. First of all, setting up a box spring
It's not fun.
at all.
What do you
No,
mean
did you do it by
setting
yourself?
I
up?
sure the fuck
I don't
did.
know how the hell you
I
did
don't
that.
understand what you mean set it like it was folded.
No,
like it was,
like-
No,
It's
you
a
have
bunch
to.
of metal
it's-
pieces
Yeah, metal
and you
pieces.
put
You
it
got to put it
together.
together. Yeah, I've done it. It's not fun.
Right. So
And I had one person with me. And it
I had to
wasn't
do it twice because I ordered 2 of them and we had to return both of them. So then, all of a sudden, my boyfriend wanted to say, oh, well, what do you mean? This is an Eastern king-size bed. Bitch, I am from the East Coast. I ain't never heard of an Eastern king-size bed. But apparently, Eastern king-size are wider instead of longer. And I was like, that's why the bed's so dope. But it's really hard to find a box spring mattress for that. So, anyways, I'm saying all that to say Amazon Prime's really dope because they came, picked the shit up, and was...
Did you have to break it down and like get it back in the box?
That was actually more annoying than
honey.
anything. But that's fine because they came, they picked it up, delivered it back for free, gave me my credit real quick, and I was like, thank you for my coin. But now Amazon Prime has this new thing that they want to try with keyless entry. So basically what they're going to do is start setting up this program where you purchase, I think it's for like $249. $249, you get this kit. What it comes
How about
with...
that you just
He's like, I knew it,
complimented
y'all.
yourself just now?
He's like, I knew my information.
I knew my number.
Okay.
Sorry, I was at Walmart earlier and paying bills. All right, so you get an Amazon security camera, a cloud cam, and a compatible smart lock. So basically what it does is it allows the delivery guy, if you aren't home, to unlock your door so he can bring all of your stuff inside of your house. And then when that happens, you get a little warning on your phone. You can turn the app on and you can see from the camera that the delivery man is coming into your house and make sure you know he ain't doing nothing crazy. All this is stemming from, this is going to actually start at the beginning of November and it'll be available in 37 U.S. cities. But last month, Walmart actually announced that they were doing a testing service, and they'll basically allow the deliverer to go into the house and also into your refrigerator. Like, they will come bring your groceries and
Because
then...
all of the grocery delivery services.
Now look, Amazon, I love you. I love your 2-hour delivery window service. I love your 2-day free shipping service. But do not come into my house. Like, that's crazy.
I feel like it's just setting things up for some major lawsuits down the line.
Like, how
I mean,
about...
even if you're paying for it, just something ends up missing. you know, something ends up broken, whatever it may be, you get robbed 3 days
Like,
after they deliver.
Yeah, what if I can't look at my camera?
You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It just seems like that could get a little complicated.
All I gotta say is technology fails too, y'all. That sounds like a real bad plan. Sound like a real bad plan. And for all y'all delivery drivers that ride for Amazon, I would tell my boss if I was a person of color, I'm sorry, I don't do the home deliveries with the key, because you could be delivering something, putting it in their refrigerator, and somebody think that you in their house and they done pulled out a gun and shot you.
I had turkey meat in here.
No. Get a new. I would go back to being at UPS.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. It would be nothing I'd want to qualify for.
No.
I'm good.
All right. So I'm sorry, Amazon. That's a no for me.
Yeah.
I'll pay $250 actually a month if, when you say you're gonna deliver it at a certain time, you actually show up at that time.
At that time, yeah.
I would pay $250 for that, because I don't have time to be waiting all day. It might be delivered by 8 p.m. Well, what?
Right.
So I gotta be in the house all day?
Right. Yes.
Because if I don't, you're gonna take my package back and I gotta wait a whole nother day? I need my freeze.
Yeah. I'm with that.
They should. I guess that's another stop, and you don't want to have to make another stop.
No.
I'd rather have like a concierge that takes my boxes that are easily accessible in my neighborhood, and I can just go to and they're open like 24/7, and then I can just like, sort of like how the post office is like right there.
Or even like, I was gonna say like a Ralph's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have their little office there, and you can go pick up your package at your closest location.
Yeah.
That's smart, Amazon. Look at that.
I would like that.
Money.
So you're about to get paid for
I
that.
don't need you to be in the house.
Money.
I don't need to be in the house. But speaking of people that are about to get paid, Issa Rae back in the news this week, you guys, because she's got another show that's coming to HBO, and she is the executive producer, and it is a family drama that is going to be set in Los Angeles in the early 1990s, and it will center around an African-American family dealing with the events of that time. She will be working with, the writer of the show will be Angela Flournoy, who is a National Book Award finalist, and she wrote The Turner House, and Angela will also be executive producing. And it's basically a show about bridging the later Reagan era and the early Clinton years, and the drama will center on the marriage of Cheryl and Jackson, with Cheryl being an envelope bonds pushing real estate agent, and her husband Jackson is a conflicted LAPD anti-gang task force recruit, and they have 2 teenage kids, Ebony and Les, daughter and son, and it's just going to follow their family at a very interesting time in Los Angeles. And for those of y'all that don't remember what was going on in LA in the early 90s, check it out, and it's going to be fun. They had all kinds of wild shit happening out here.
Yeah.
Okay? We had Rodney, we had OJ, we had the crack cocaine epidemic was going on in the city, like, and all kinds of major gang situations in various neighborhoods around the city. So
it'll be interesting to see it through her eyes, like
me too.
her storytelling.
Yeah, I think so too. And it also, it's always interesting to see how other deals get made, especially with HBO, because it seems like when you have a successful run on HBO, you are open to them looking at you for many projects.
For sure.
You know, and HBO is one. I'll congratulate them. That's one of the places that I do hear a lot about multiple projects from people coming out versus just one project here or there. They really go in on their talent.
They want to sign you for the deal if you succeed, and then keep on succeeding. So, and it's cute too, because like they have the same. I think Issa and Angela have the same management company, and so like how those relationships match up. And Issa loved her book and was like so excited to be like, yeah, I get to work with her as a writer. That's going to be amazing. So congratulations, Black women doing big things. We love executive producers, and so I'm excited to see it, and I can't wait to watch it, because we don't get a lot of family dramas with the brown folks.
That's right, and there's a lot of Black women writers who are getting deals. There's another one I just read about. I think she wrote for Saturday Night Live, or one of those. She's a Black woman, late night TV writing. I can't think of the name right now, but she just got a new deal, a pretty big TV deal as well. So there's a lot of.
I'm not sure if we're talking about the same person, but what's her name? I think Diana. I know her Instagram handle, like I can't remember her actual name. Diaroni is her Instagram handle, but she was working with How to Get Away with Murder, Juvie Productions. How to Get Away with Murder. No, How to Get Away with Murder lead. The actress.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. Why was her name not coming out? But she has a production company, and she had supported Diaroni. I'm sorry, Diana. I can't remember your whole name. On the ABC internet platform to do a short series, which was really funny. I forget what it's called, but it's about basically like a company that helps people deal with being racist, like, and doing racist weird shit. So it's a comedy, and it was really funny, and it's like 10-minute web series. And now she has to deal with Amazon for her new show, which will be out, I think, early next year.
That might be her. That might be what I read. But it's exciting to see all this new content for African Americans and people of color that's going to be coming out, and it's all going to kind of manifest in the next year or so.
Cool.
Amen.
And it's a lot of women, so we love that too.
Is.
All right. Speaking of women, we've got a professor over at the University of Pennsylvania. Well, she's actually a teaching assistant, a PhD candidate right now, and she's TA in her class. You know, she's got this class called Sinners, Sex and Slaves, Race and Sex in Early America. Made me miss college because all those like wild classes that you take in college. I was like, oh, that's so great. Anyway.
Wow, that was a really conservative school. Sinners, Sex, and Slaves?
Sinners, Sex, and Slaves, Race and Sex in Early America. So obviously in early America, there was a lot of slaves.
Sex, and slaves.
That's what was happening.
That's a pretty accurate title.
I know. It's like America to 1975.
Right.
Anyway, so her name's Stephanie McKellop. She's a PhD student, obviously, and she's TAing this class. And she tweeted, apparently, on her personal Twitter account and said, quote, "I will always call on my black women students first. Other people of color get second-tier priority. White women come next. And if I have to, white men." So her post immediately drew some criticism and some anger, and you know, people like, why are you discriminating against the white folks? That's not right. This is not fair. Blah 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 blah. And they basically, there are people complaining, and they complained to the school saying this is supporting discrimination of white people and it's unacceptable. Well, University of Pennsylvania has released a statement, and the statement came from the dean of the School of the Arts and Sciences, and he said, quote, "We are looking into the current matter involving a graduate student teaching assistant to ensure that our students were not subjected to discriminatory practices in the classroom, and to ensure that all of our students feel heard and equally engaged." So they're looking into it, but she is still currently teaching. But there were also some supporters of this tactic that she's using, which, by the way, McKellop said she learned this practice from one of her former professors in undergrad, who used the method to redress a lack of opportunities of for non-whites to speak up in normal life. So she was sort of trying to almost socially experiment in the classroom is essentially what was happening. And there were other supporters that thought her tactic was refreshing and pointed out that the method is used to create a more inclusive learning environment and community by highlighting the thoughts and ideas of the most marginalized students in the room first. And Upenn is obviously a majority white institution, so it's an interesting thought. Are you offended? Would you be mad if your kid was in the class and was white and was like, I don't get called on until last?
I think that I don't agree with what she's doing. I think in order for people to learn and to move forward with things, you have to hear everybody's voice, whether you agree with it or not. So to segment a group to speak the majority of time and have others just listen, yes, everybody needs to hear everyone's story, but I think in order for us to conversations need to happen in order for you to learn and to expand. So I would say diversify it a little bit more as far as like who you let speak. I think it should be something where the black students in the class should hear what the white students have to say, Asian, whatever, whoever it may be, they should all hear this equally, be able to express themselves.
I feel like it's the wording that she used.
Yeah.
Like, and if I have to, like,
Yeah,
if you have to, girl, you're a teacher.
You're a professor.
You have to. These are students who are paying a lot of money to learn and to ask questions and to speak in class. I think that what she's doing, I'm not going to disagree. I think it's kind of dope, actually, but I think it's one of those dope things that you do silently. You know what I mean? And then the kids in the class understand, like, wow, she's really cool. Like, she gives people a voice. Let them speak that. Let them say, you know what, I really love her because I feel like she gives women of color a chance to actually speak. In other classes I go to, I don't really get picked on, but in this class I do. You going on Twitter is like, I don't know, it just kind of seems like you have a thing against white men. Yeah. Like, personally, girl, like, maybe something happened in your past, I don't know. But I'm just like, if I have to, like, girl, what you delegating? You a teaching assistant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think it is, I do, like, it's a seesaw thing. Like, I think it is dope because I do think, you know, I think the idea of her saying by doing it in class, it gives an empowerment to do it outside of class, to speak up and to do that. So, but I just don't, I don't like the tweet.
Do you not want to hear the voice of Courtney.
I don't think it's that she was saying like not okay. So because my first impression was like, I read the tweet and I'm like, girl, come on, you can't say that. Like, especially because she said, and if I have to, I'll call on the white boys. Right. But then when I continued to read, I read what the class title was. In reading the class title, I started to shift because if you're talking about race and sexual politics and that kind of thing in early America. And if you're at a predominantly white institution, which I went to one of those, and if it's educational higher learning, whatever, the super intelligent kids in these classes, like you probably have, I don't know. I mean, unless it's hundreds of students, but like in terms of percentages, you probably have 3% of people of color in your class to begin with. So I think that once I read what the class was and what she was trying to do, I don't agree with the tweet, and if her attitude is really like, if I got to, which she might have just had a bad day at work and was like, because the white boy was
like, before you even got to the white girl thing,
hopefully she was
before you got to the white girl thing, just stop at.
But it was a tweet. But I think the point still remains is that she, to get those 3% voices heard, specifically in this class, is probably imperative in a way that in a math class it perhaps is not. So I just thought when I read that maybe that goal is even higher just because of the nature of the information that is being taught and learned in that class. And those voices are even more important. And in college, people, even though you're adults, like people aren't always speaking up, especially in an uncomfortable situation. And it's difficult when you are the 2%er in a class about a sensitive ass subject like that.
And having the white man talk.
And having the white man. And there's a level of patriarchy and power that goes in, and that plays just like we see it play out in businesses right now with sexual harassment issues and things like that. Like there's that level that still exists in the classroom. So I think from a theoretical spot, I think she's going in a healthy direction. I just think that obviously the way she said that is not okay.
You should go teach it because you just put it in better words.
You did, actually. It's so funny that you said I was just thinking, I was like, Courtney, you should be a professor.
So everybody's voices are important.
Should call in, Courtney.
Whatever. But, I mean, I don't think anybody was, I don't think she's trying to not allow them to speak, but I think what she's actually saying is that the white male voice is heard and is heard often. We also really need to hear this part of it too. Right. And that's why I'm having to, and the only way we're going to do that is to actively do things to make that the case. Sure. Not to just be like, well, it'll happen whenever. No, we actively have to do something to shift that whatever. So hopefully that's where she was coming from.
That's the conversation, girl.
I hope that's where we're
to become from an assistant to a teacher, that's the conversation.
I just want to make sure all voices are equal.
She's a PhD candidate. Sometimes real smart people, like, they don't always get it out right. Like, she had theoretically, she had something great going on, but then when she wrote it on that tweet, and when you only got like 22 characters?
Honey, then that's when you had to delete. You should have left the white women and the white men out of the tweet and made it real beautiful. Like, I love choosing my women of color to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I had a hard time tweeting about the World Series in 22 characters yesterday.
I thought they were adding to our characters. I thought we were going to get at least 50 more.
I don't even understand it because I can't be fine when somebody asks me a question on it. I'm like, well, where's the rest of it? Like the update, I can't.
Don't try and post a link. I always struggle with posting a link. It takes like 51 of my characters out when I do the links.
We just need in-person conversation, guys. Let's hang out and chat more.
All right.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to leave in like
I know, we're supposed to leave in like 5 minutes. All right, so we're going to move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, on the show in the past, we've talked about flying while black. Well, the NAACP is taking it to the next level because in the news this week, they reported that black people should be cautious about flying on American Airlines specifically. Now, they are encouraging people to stay away from them if they're traveling, and the reason why is because they felt like there's been plenty of cases that have recently been reported of disrespect and using discrimination towards blacks from American Airlines that's been reported and come up in the news. So the warning has come after 4 recent times when black passengers were said to have been heavily discriminated against. This is what the new NAACP president had to say about it. All travelers must be guaranteed the right to travel without fear of threat, violence, or harm. The growing list of incidents suggesting racial bias reflects an unacceptable corporate culture and involves behavior that cannot be dismissed as normal or random. So these are a couple of the cases that have come up as of recent with just the filing of discrimination towards black people. A passenger was removed from a flight after exchanging words with 2 white people, white passengers specifically. One passenger had a first-class ticket but was moved back to the back of the plane while her white friend was permitted to stay up front. What else happened here? An activist was removed from a plane after questioning why her seat assignment had been changed. And then also a spokeswoman for an African American organization said the company was the company had discriminated against her as well as she was trying to get seated on the plane. Now, American Airlines made a statement. They said that they were disappointed to, learn of these offensive situations.
On Twitter when I be tweeting them.
And they are looking into the situation, which they always do. What do you guys feel about that? The NAACP putting American Airlines on blast. I mean, because we all have been on planes, and there's
needed to get my money back.
Yeah, I need to get my money back. But sometimes I feel like it's a big debate. I don't know if I'm being discriminated against or if this is just disgruntled as airline workers.
Well, if it's Spirit,
sometimes it's in between.
Then you can't complain about none because they just disgruntled. Like, I can't even get on a phone call with Spirit. It would ruin my Spirit.
Well, Spirit only goes 5 places anyway. So.
No, they go. Actually, you'd be real surprised. They go places that other places don't. And you'd be like, shit, I gotta take Spirit.
They've added to their list.
Never again.
But you got to pay for every single little thing.
Again.
And I can't stand American Airlines either. You can charge all that money for them dusty gray ripped up seats looking like a bus, school bus. But the thing is, I actually think, but it's true, I think it's actually really dope that NAACP is doing this because I think it lights a fire. Because I think that with the airlines, they get so comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say
like how they still charging us some baggage fees when it was made because gas prices went up, but suddenly when gas prices went down, y'all didn't get rid of no baggage fees.
Right.
Like, not to say that there isn't racial profiling in the airport, but I think, but I do also think, like, with some of, like, the seat changes and stuff like that, like, that happens a lot.
To a lot of people.
And, like, to a lot of people. And at the end of the day, I think that that's just messed up on the airlines because they overbook, they double book, and, like, it's a freaking hot mess. So I think it's dope that NAACP is doing this because it is going to cause American Airlines to actually sit and have to filter through some stuff, and hopefully there will be some changes made. And if American Airlines steps up to the plate, it will kind of force down the hands of other airlines to step it up. Because what I've noticed is these airlines, they get so comfortable with the name of who they are, and it's like, when's the last time you checked the ship, this plane? Because I flew 20 years ago and it's the same one, and the TV still don't work.
I mean, yeah,
Planes last.
Yeah, they last.
They
last.
They do.
And a lot of
That's why they still fly.
Well, that's why a lot of times they buy older models and just refurbish them too. Which is, I guess that's cost effective, but it's kind of scary too. I mean, like I said, it's a catch-22 because yes, do I think that there's probably been times I've been racially discriminated against, or black people obviously have been racially discriminated against. But in the latest, I just feel sometimes almost too that in the news, we see a lot of different people who are discriminated against at airlines. And I just feel like a lot of times it's just nasty people who work at airlines. Not all, I'm not blaming all airlines. I've had great experiences at some airlines, but there are a lot of times, I've gone on a plane and seen people just walking in the aisles and they just walk in and the flight attendants are rude to them.
There's also really nice people that work.
There are nice people, I will say that I don't think it's really about necessarily the people of the airlines, but I think the airline industry has become they have definitely sacrificed customer care and customer service for profit margins in a huge way. And obviously everybody does that. It's America, it's capitalism. You make more money, you do what you can, cut corners wherever. But I feel like they've taken it to the extreme, and the excuse, like with the gas thing it's now been 10 years since gas prices went crazy and they started doing like baggage fees and that kind of thing.
I didn't think about that, but you're right.
So I feel like that was sort of like a shift, and they just sort of made it all about money, and I feel like they treat their employees that way too. So their employees are just pent up, anxious, and anxiety ridden because they trying to do what upstairs is making. So they're a part of that whole machine, and it's not necessarily their fault that shit is shitty. Right. And shit is shitty because those freaking the shareholders want a bigger paycheck, and they're trying to monopolize it as much. And I mean, obviously we only have 5 major airlines in the country. There's not, and then that's a difficult industry to sort of break up and make it more competitive so that the service to the people is much better. So I feel like that's more of the issue, and they just get back to when we had some tablecloths and y'all was like being sweet and being like, would you like a beverage, and not trying to charge me for some fucking peanuts.
Right, for $12 for peanuts, by the way. All right, so we're gonna move on because we have to wrap up soon.
I was like, I ain't never paid $12 for peanuts.
Yeah, peanuts.
No, I mean, but they're when you do the little peanut boxes and
yeah.
everything. Like I'm talking about that mix.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
the boo. I don't even look at that
chips
page.
and
peanuts. I'm a JetBlue
it's like $12.
customer
Me too.
primarily. So.
I will only fly JetBlue. I really will only fly JetBlue.
I fly a lot of Delta because
country.
I like Delta because you get the one-on-one individual screen. I like that because I can get my cable.
So does JetBlue too.
Yeah, JetBlue too.
But JetBlue doesn't fly to my hometown.
No, when Delta had Delta Song, I was all about the Delta
I'm all about
song.
Virgin.
They did that really
I like Virgin.
Virgin's a party.
I will never fly with Virgin
overseas
ever again.
is
Virgin overseas bomb.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right.
Never been
so we got to move on. Sorry. All right. So the last story of the day, which we'll wrap up with, is this. I found this quite interesting.
So sweet.
It is.
2 moms in Westtown Chicago have created Stand Up to Hate. It's a play date in the neighborhood. It's actually taking place today. Actually, probably already took place, or it's taking place right now. So basically, what happened was these 2 white women who have a black nanny, and they received a letter in the mail from an unidentified person who said some pretty nasty things about the black nanny and the choice of them having a black nanny. So they received this letter, and this is what it said. It's amusing that the moms are trying to rebel against the greatest leader this country has ever seen. Honestly, you need to fire your nanny because otherwise it looks like she is your modern day mammy. Please take heed to the advice being shared in this letter. Find a new nanny. We do not want an infestation in our community. All right, so these 2 ladies got this, right? So they got the letter. Once again, whoever wrote the letter is a punk because if you've been writing this letter, how come you can't,
You come tell me to my face.
Why can't you say it to your face? So the person put the letter in one of the women's, whose name is Heather DeJonker's mailbox, and left it anonymously. As I mentioned, she took it to the police. Now the nanny in the case, her name is Farrah Pickett. She was initially going to quit, but then she decided that she wanted to. This was her moment to help children, teach them a little bit more about race relations, and she wanted to help them make a difference in the future of the children. And then she also wanted to show them that she's a strong black woman. So that's what's going on right now. But these 2 women have this whole block party play date. You don't have to have a kid, they said. They just want to like really embrace culture and bring a community together. What do you guys think about this?
I love that they put, I don't know if it was like a post they put out on Facebook or they put it around the neighborhood where they were like, we don't want you to think for a second we accept this kind of bullshit in our neighborhood. I mean, that's not what they said exactly, but that was the
that was the undertone.
That's the Courtney translation.
That was the spirit of what they were going for.
The Courtney translation.
I was like, oh, I love that they put the ad around there. Like they spread it around the neighborhood. Like whoever did this, you shady mofo, we don't want your kind in our neighborhood because we love everybody. So I appreciated that they went and did all that and got the kids playing with each other. And I hope it's some chocolate kids, some caramel kids, and some other kids. Maybe they can bust some kids in there to show some kids to talk to other kids or something. I don't know.
I love the ad. They had a little black kid, white kid, Asian kid, all holding hands with the back, the boy,
we love
girl.
That.
We shall overcome moment.
Yes, honey, because that's the only way we gonna overcome.
We shall overcome.
That's it.
All right. If you're in Chicago and you can stop by, I mean, I think it's probably still, maybe late now. It's like 8 o'clock. It might still be a little
kids need to go to bed.
They're going to bed.
Those are
the play dates.
School-age kids. They're at home. And it's dark
tomorrow.
It's dark.
In Chicago.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
It is, but.
My elementary bedtime was 9 o'clock. What time did that?
Elementary?
Elementary?
Oh, please.
Oh, no,
9 o'clock was when I was in 9th grade. 10 o'clock, 10th grade, 11. Like, my mother was crazy.
Oh, yeah, no. I had to be in the bed by 7:30 during the week.
In elementary?
Yeah. And sleep probably by 8:30.
Ours was always 9.
I don't know.
And then when I got older, I think I just went
now
to sleep all the time.
Now I want to go to bed at 8:30, but I don't.
Right, it's 6 o'clock. I'm ready.
Ready now.
All right, we're going to wrap up now. Where can fans find you, Courtney, with your Dare t-shirt on?
You like my Dare t-shirt?
I do.
My
Took me
vintage
back to high school.
t-shirt. Yeah, okay. Wasn't that elementary? I don't know.
It might have been.
I'm sorry. Whatever.
One of those.
They tried to make a comeback.
We did in high school too.
They did try to make a comeback.
I didn't do it.
Dare tried to make a comeback.
Yeah, they tried to make a comeback because I remember they tried to scare us into driving. Like you could get into the car accident if you were drinking and stuff. They tried to do that.
I don't know. I had moved with the other kids in New York at that point.
Okay.
That's when I was in my cultural upstanding life. Anyway, moving on. I can be found somewhere on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
But apparently don't tweet her because she don't know how to find you.
I know I can find you. I just can't. The replies, like it doesn't fan out like it used to. Like when you're having a conversation, they don't do it the same. Whatever.
Hit me up everywhere, DJ Jesse J.
You can hit me up at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff on Broken Famous on the Reels channel, and also you can look at my Instagram Saturday to find out what Game of Thrones character I'm gonna be for my Halloween party. I'm gonna give little clues throughout the day. All right, everybody have a great weekend and happy Halloween if you celebrate it. Peace.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay.
Family member.
Thanks for tuning in.
His cousin. Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.